All right, folks, good afternoon. What a great afternoon. What an interesting morning it's been so far with my two self-directed investment squadrons. We've been kind of trading our asses off as this Monday kind of relief rally kicks in and we hit the roof on the S&P 500 at the 50-day moving average. Welcome aboard Weekly Options, folks. We had a great welcome aboard brief last night. Well, before I get into that, I have to disclose my personal account, what I'm trading. Long Apple, and also have some covered calls going. Long Microsoft has some covered calls going. I added to both Apple and Microsoft at the open to take advantage of that pop, but I sold some pretty close at the money calls to hopefully get those things called away by this Friday. Short S&P 500 with a bear call spread. I had a bull put spread. These are day trades. Made $28.50, almost $3,000 so far, and currently have a bear call spread on that's looking pretty damn good. Got some Peloton puts sitting in the background. Okay, quick review of Full Throttle. For the hundreds upon hundreds of people that are just joining us, you're in a normal weekly options brief every Monday at noon. We do what's called weekly options. These are very, very tactical trades. Already sent out via email and text alert a Apple bull put spread. It already went out to all my members, and I am filled on that. We'll take a look at that in a couple minutes. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we're going to open up the doors. Actually, 3 people already signed up. I forgot on the replay page there's already a button there. Anyway, well, good on them. So 47 slots will be open tomorrow morning. And then if we don't get all 47 slots filled, annual slots will open up whatever's left to monthly folks. Wednesday at noon, we're going to do accelerated retirement, AR. My AR portfolio is the best performing portfolio out of the 5 that I manage, which I was going to say it's comical. It's not comical. That's effing fantastic. The retirement portfolio is my best performing portfolio. And then we're done Wednesday night. Wednesday night at 7, I'm going to give you a sample of what Full Throttle training actually looks like. So when you sign up, we're going to do 8 briefs. We're going to do 8 training sessions going all the way from this is a call, this is a put, take a building block approach all the way up to, hey, this is an iron Condor, for example. This isn't rocket surgery, folks. It's very, very easy to trade options. It's not hard at all. Quick administrative item. Sorry, I'm looking over here too because I got a nice bear call spread, another day trade on SPX that, got to keep an eye on that because I might want to close it. Let me go pull this over here and take a look at it now. Sweet. So here it's up $1,800. This was a trade I put on about 20 minutes ago. That's already up $1,800. I'm going to put it in an order. Actually, that would be $5,000 for today on SPX trades so far. Nice little retreat in SPX. Let me throw a 70 cent out there in case I'm talking to you guys and I'm not looking at it. I'll take that. I'll take a nice $2,500 in this trade as well. Busy morning with me and we'll talk about this later. I don't want to confuse people. We are in I manage 2 what we call self-directed investment clubs, and I play right here. I post, and these are my lifetime members here at Top Gun Options. I post all of my trades immediately when I do them into the Max Afterburner group. There's about 80 folks in there, and then our lifetime members, there's about 69 folks in there. So, all right, back to our regularly scheduled program here. Sorry, when I'm seeing profits I have to take on trades, I got to get it out to my investment clubs right away. All right, administrative items. Let's get back to earth here. The handouts. Last night we did our welcome aboard brief. I do the welcome aboard brief so we can talk for an hour and 17 minutes, 2 minutes over, about Top Gun Options, me, us, the trade plan, all sorts of stuff. So in the briefs through Wednesday, we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about the market. We're going to take a look at actionable trades. So make sure you have the handouts. You got some paper together and you got some notes. We'll cover Apple in a couple seconds, guys. Everybody just chill out. Camera icon on what you're viewing me at in that little window. If you want to take a screenshot and take it instead of taking notes, go ahead and do that. And then just a quick reminder because we had about 450 people register after last night's brief. The GoToWebinar platform was supposed to be limited to 1,000. Have a nice email into support because that didn't happen. Well, that's all right, but my apologies if I'm not super all over the chat box, because we have to. I got to focus on the content. So here it is. Last night, 27 September, Full Throttle. Welcome aboard. This sounds very eerily familiar to this headline. The February Full Throttle. Let me scroll all the way down. 3 February Full Throttle. Warning: the markets are set to implode, and we effing nailed it. Absolutely insanity. I literally last night copy and pasted that headline up to here because that's what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm sorry, let me give you the link to this. It's really easy to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT, stands for Full Throttle Replay. Please, 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 if you didn't watch last night's Welcome Aboard brief, watch it. Not to be rude, but if I see questions flying by in this chat box over here that were stuff that I covered last night, I'm not going to answer it. It's not fair to the folks who attended the brief last night. Okay, so that's why everything's recorded, so you can go and watch the replay. Got to focus on the people that are. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jennifer. Yes, implode means go down. Explode, explode, implode, implode. Okay, final thing. And Gayton Gayton's a great trader over here in our Max Afterburner group. He's like, hey, dude, on your required reading list, you forgot to list your book. That would have been a shameless plug, but I guess most plugs are shameless. I'll tell you what, if you order a copy of my book, it's called From Sea Level to Sea Level. So the Welcome Aboard brief that I gave you last night chapter 1 starts with me waking up on 9/11 and then seeing what happening and racing out to the Naval Air Station, and it kind of concludes with me essentially helping run this multi-billion-dollar options trading firm, and my experience doing consulting. So From Sea Level to Sea Level, if you order it today or this week, I'll go ahead and sign it and I'll put it in the mail. If you want it signed to somebody else, do me a favor and let me know. Otherwise, I'll sign it to you. Okay, so there's your autographed copy of From Sea Level to Sea Level. So thank you, Gayton, for reminding me of that. I didn't even think to put this book on my required reading. Well, it's not super required, but it gives you kind of an idea of everything about me and who I am. All right, let's go. Let's get airborne. That's way too long on administrative stuff. Weekly options brief. What are we going to talk about today? Weekly options, folks, are very, very tactical trades. As you can see, this is way, way tactical trading, but weekly options trades are short term, right? I'm going to teach you, especially Wednesday in Accelerated Retirement, that we can trade options that are years out into the future, right? Those are called leaps. Well, weekly options, as the name implies, expire, you ready for it? Weekly. So tactical trading, this isn't, hey, I think Amazon's going to be at $6,000 in 2 years, and let me put some options out into the future. This is, I think Apple's going to be above this point or below this point by Friday, and let's put on a short-term tactical trade. There's nothing like special about them. Like, I think of a weekly options trade just like I would a 30-day trade. Now, I'm going to date myself because I was in the board of trade and the SIBO when they came out with weekly options. Now I'm really old. Back in the day when I started trading options, we just had monthlies and we had leaps all the way out into the future. But if you can get a bunch of rich white dudes sitting in a room in Chicago asking, how can we make even more money on these options things? Hello, weekly options. Folks, they're talking about coming up with daily options, right? I mean, just incredible developments here. So, but when I think of a weekly option, I think of it as a monthly option. What do I mean by that? If we looked at options, an options trade a month out from now, 5 weeks, I'd look at it as week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Seems like a long time. It actually is. But I think of a weekly options trade that expires this Friday, and we'll take a look at a live one in here very shortly. I think of today as week 1, tomorrow as of week 2, and so on. Meaning, in the life of a weekly options trade, a day is a lifetime. I've had weekly options trades that I put on Monday. They suck Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday they're at max profit, right? I think I'm going to come up with a drinking game because the weekly options brief every Monday at noon. We do the primary brief tomorrow at 10. Invariably, I put on a weekly options trade, and by like tomorrow morning, it's quote losing money or it's red. And people who are new are freaking out. First of all, if you're freaking out anytime there's red on your screen, you're going to suck as an options trader. 99.9% of the time, the only response I have to that person is, it's Tuesday. First of all, go back to your commit criteria. Why did you get into that trade? And it's Tuesday. Don't wait for it. Don't prematurely eject out of a trade that's going against you. Again, the top of the screen says discipline, risk management, superior execution. If you ain't before we get into any trade, like I'll show you in a couple minutes, we manage our risk. We know our max potential loss. So now you have to stay disciplined, right? I'm used to looking at trades that aren't that are red or green or what. Man, where do I want this football to go? I want it to go through the uprights by Friday, or hit my profit target before Friday. Okay, so weekly options, a weekly options trade might be very tactical, but it's the same. Whether it's a year out options trade, 2 years, a month out, or a week out, we go back to our trade plan, which hopefully you have printed out. So again, it's not advanced. It's just a shorter time frame. Does that make sense? So, okay, good. Quick review of what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. We have so much going on, especially when we talk about weekly options. A day is a lifetime. I remember having we put on a long volatility trade. You know, this happens very often. I'm like, something's going to happen this week. I feel it after now it's 29 years of doing this, almost 3 decades, shorter than Joe Biden's been in Washington. Joe Biden's been in Washington almost as long as I've been alive, but now he's going to fix everything. So I remember people on Tuesday and Wednesday going, "Wiz, this volatility trade's going against me," and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I got into this for this reason. Breaking news: Jim Comey tells the New York Times the president, "Holy shit, the VIX went through the roof, the market imploded." Okay, so and then people end up kicking themselves, right? So the TJ, everything's recorded, right? One last time, guys. Please, I start my briefs on time to the minute. The replay page is right there. It's pretty easy to remember. There's the replay from last night. The replay from today will be on here. Everything's on the replay page. You bet, man. No problems. Okay, so yeah, so you got to trade. You got to trade what you have. It's funny. For years at Full Throttle, I always trade politics, and politics drives the market. I love people who come in here like, I can't stand your politics, and I'm like, right click, throw out of room. What are you trading if you're not trading what's going on? If we get a stimulus bill this week, the market's going to have a rip your face off rally. Period. Nancy goes, you know what, Donald, F you, we're going to impeach you. The market's going to implode. Politics is the only thing that moves the market. The Federal Reserve, you want to talk about moving the market? Donald Trump, I hate my Fed chairman. He needs to cut rates and QE. You hired him. I can't stand this guy. He's awful. You used to have a tagline that says you're fired. Politics is the only thing that moves the market. So it cracks me up when people, even I have several members who are like, dude, I can't stand your politics, but you print money. Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to turn the coming panic into profit. We talked about this last night. How do I trade options? FMT. I find a trade with our trade plan, which we're going to do right now. I manage risk in every trade. I never get airborne in a fighter jet or in a trade and go, I have no clue what the worst case scenario is with this thing. Wrong. And then we're going to trade. So again, you should kind of feel like this, but that's how I learned to fly and fight in F-18. Open wide. Let me go through this stuff real quick. Our methodology here, this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to give you a strategic brief, what's going on around the globe. We're going to get operational, look at the United States, and then we're going to place a trade. Okay, here we go. Let's go. The link from the replay for yesterday is in the chat box. go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. Okay. Here's the way I trade. So you kind of take notes or whatever. You absolutely have to have Donald J. Trump's Twitter account up. I have a buddy who runs one of his black box algorithms at his hedge fund. He is wired in. I think he's got a server next to the Twitter headquarters. He wants to be 0.001 nanoseconds ahead of other people to get a tweet about what the president says. And he's got algorithms. They have computers that read the tweet and interpret it and place trades immediately. Have you seen this? Everybody remember we were in a trade war, which we're starting to get into a real war with China. And the president would tweet, "Yo, big deal. We're making a deal. I just talked to Xi. Nobody talks to Xi better than me. Believe me." Market goes up. I just told Mnuchin and Lighthizer to get on a jet. Screw the Chinese. Tariffs are coming in. Boom. Have to have this guy's up. I really didn't see anything today market related, which is kind of comical. The last two times this guy has tweeted about the market, within a day, the market imploded. The last time Donald J. Trump said something about the market was right there. And it was a disgraceful tweet, which I know is going to shock you. Dow, whatever it hit, 29, 30, Dow at this, you're welcome that I'm your president. Who talks like that? I can't even, I can't. I was like, oh my God. I can't even. Exactly, Steve. That's a perfect example. Remember there was a tweet about Bill O'Reilly, and then O'Reilly Auto Parts imploded. That's when the computers are learning to become self-aware, and they're going to kill all of us. All right, so I always got my Trump feed up so I can rate Johnny on the spot. Now let's get strategic. What's going on around the globe? The Chinese, let me go get this article. Who posted this? Punch, great intel. Let me show you this, man. I'm making a prediction. There is a high probability that China invades Taiwan before the election. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I can't find it. Well, whatever. I'm just going to tell you. I know for a fact. First of all, it's a disgrace. It's a national disgrace that we more or less rolled over on Hong Kong. Donald J. Trump at the beginning of the Hong Kong protest. Xi, China owns Hong Kong. He doesn't need advice from me. Whatever. The guy said a lot of dumb things. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. My God, man, people are running around Hong Kong with American flags. Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death, spray painted up there, begging for the world. We didn't do anything. Trump got dragged, kicking and screaming to a limp-wristed, oh, well, we support the protesters type of thing. It was a disgrace. Why am I rambling about this? Because if I was Xi Jinping right now and looking at the shit show in the United States and wanting Taiwan back, I'd be like, this is perfect. I would do it right now. They've been staging amphibious exercises. Last week, they did a simulated bombing run on our air base in Guam. If you were China, when would you try and take back Taiwan, folks? What's Donald Trump going to do? First of all, we have a defense of Taiwan agreement. On the USS Kitty Hawk and the USS Abraham Lincoln, I took part in those exercises. Do you think before an election, Donald J. Trump's going to war with China? You know what? I'm going to cancel this order, guys, real quick. SPX is imploding, and I'm going to take some nice profits here. That's a good pound down on the S&P 500. So this trade's up. So here you go. Men lie, numbers don't. I placed this trade right before we got on the air. It's up 40, almost 50%, $2,000. And SPX is going to go a little bit lower here. So why am I rambling about this? Holy volatility, Batman. And you're ready for this disgustingness? Like, I'm shocked at this. You ready? I can't even believe this headline. Chinese state media throws support behind Black Lives Matter. George, you wonder where these U-Hauls are coming from? You remember in Portland and Seattle and Dallas, there were pallets of bricks on corners. Somebody dropped off mysterious pallets of bricks before protest. Are you shitting me? We all know who it is. George Soros, China, maybe even Russia, wanting to destabilize this country. It's a disgrace. So LeBron James, this all makes perfect sense, right? All the NBA who criticize our country but can't even say a word about China. LeBron James and all these disgusting professional, Colin Kaepernick, Nike. They make shoes and Nike products in China with 10-year-old child labor that they pay a nickel a year. But, you know, we're the bad country. They have people in concentration camps. Can't stand it. It's disgraceful Americans. So, Taiwan and China getting involved in our election. I'm telling you, this is one of those things that it's on my radar. Okay. We also had this last week. Chinese leaders split over releasing blacklist of U.S. companies. What? Maybe right in front of the election to stick it to Trump, they come out and say, we're having a news conference. Apple, Nike, and all these companies need to get out of China by 12 a.m. today. Get out. You don't think that's a possibility? At the height of the trade war, China said, hey, they mentioned Apple. Hey, Apple, if this stuff doesn't calm down, you're gone. Okay? This is bad. Okay. Guys, we'll talk SPX towards the end of the brief if I have time. See, I shouldn't confuse people. I run two self-directed investment squadrons. They're outside of Top Gun Options, and these are day trades. I'm going to talk about our weekly options trade in a second. So, but I got to manage positions that are making me money. There we go. Nice little down leg. This is going to be a nice slide in the S&P 500. I can feel it. There's a big sell order. Boom. All right. I'll just put one in on my wish list here. Let me copy that. I'll go down to 60. I'm going to leave this hanging out there. 60. Preview fire. Okay. Yeah. Folks, we have a defense of Taiwan agreement. We just sold that we sell them F-16s and M1 Abrams battle tanks, folks. We believe Taiwan is an independent, country or whatever province, and China says we're taking them back, and if anybody gets in our way, we're going to kill you. This is why I give a strategic brief, folks. If you're all these Robin Hood day traders sitting here fat, dumb, and happy thinking stocks only go up, and all of a sudden breaking news, China invades Taiwan, the market will be down 50% and the VIX will be at 100. I guarantee you. And we'll be prepared for it as most people get destroyed. Second stimulus check. Now let's get operational. There's really not much else going on. Iran's out there kind of maybe poking us right in front of the election. If they do a couple rocket attacks against U.S. forces, what happened the last time they did rocket attacks and killed an American? Trump's going to get us into World War III. No, he turned their lead terrorist, the number one terrorist in the world that was responsible for killing 608 soldiers and Marines, they turned him into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. And then they did their limp-wristed fire some bottle rockets back at us. That can happen as well in front of the election. Second stimulus check. How much Pelosi and Democrats would spend a new relief bill? $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there. This is a threat to any bearish trades. Let's take a look at where we are today, man. Where are we failing? Right there. What did I tell you? What have I preached to you, ladies and gentlemen? The market does not live between these moving averages. There's the 50-day, there's the 200-day. We went through the 50 last week, and we had these massive convulsions Up 500, down 300, up 300. Now we're failing where? Here. I can tell you, because I've been in the room when we program algos, that if we fail here, it's most likely a big fail. And oh, by the way, what happens this week? We have a debate. We also have jobs numbers on Friday. Okay. So we got stimulus on the radar. We got just so much. The primary live trade brief tomorrow morning, we're going to talk more in depth in all these things. Weekly options is supposed to be a 30-minute brief, quick trade, and I'm out. So I'm going a little long here. But the debate could be huge. Every morning before or around the open, I have a mastermind call. I got hedge fund buddies, private office. I got big bank house buddies, couple high ranking folks, a lot of folks in this mastermind group that swing big money. 3 of them have left so far, not left the group, they left. 2 of them are out in Colorado and one's down in the islands. They're done for the year. They're like, dude, we've printed money off the bottom. Why are we going to trade this stupidity? But it's funny to hear, even among my mastermind group, the consensus, like, well, if Trump does well, it's bullish for the market. If Biden does well, it's bearish for the market, right? That's kind of what I believe. But what if Biden does well, meaning he doesn't drool on himself and he doesn't vapor lock the market? It will be bearish for the market if Biden does well. I guarantee it. Okay, so there's a lot of uncertainty about this debate. My prediction, Joe Biden can't stand there for an hour with Donald Trump and Chris Wallace and not completely F it up. I hear he might walk off. He's done that with a lot of his briefs. Like if somebody actually doesn't read a prepared question, he leaves. So I think the dude might do the whole, you know what, I've had enough of this, and do the whole, I'm from Scranton and I'm a tough guy. I was going to get into a fight with him. I was going to drop down. He's threatened to like hit the president before or to get into. So I think we might have a walk-off. You ready? Can you imagine that? Absolutely. Get the popcorn ready. I believe he walks off. And when the going gets tough. Michelle, I've heard the same thing. Trump's still demanding to like do an inspection of each other, like no earbuds. I got to be honest with you. Even if he's got an earbud, I think somebody actually talking in his ear, telling him what to say, would confuse him even more. So this might be just epic. So get ready. If Donald, I thought Hillary Clinton was I thought she's a human piece of feces, especially with Benghazi and Haiti and her foundation, but I'll leave it at that. I thought she would be a good debater and a polished politician. Donald Trump wiped the floor with that woman. So I'm rambling about this because that's a threat to any potential trade. So when in doubt, whenever I say, you know what, I'm not sure what's going to happen, that means go and sit on some cash. No trade is a trade. Cash money is a position. If you just want to sit here for this week and not do a weekly options trade, bless your heart and God love them. Because that means, like, you know what? I'd rather just sit there with my bucket of popcorn and watch, because it's going to be theater. It's going to be sport. Me, I like trading this stuff. So you are the pilot in command of your portfolio, not me. Okay? So this is going to be very, 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 interesting. Okay? James, I didn't hear that. He was with someone in Virginia that has tested positive for COVID, maybe an excuse not to show up. Oh my God, I said this months ago. I'm like, does anybody want to bet that the morning of they canceled the debate because Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID? Or maybe they send Kamala. Anyway, here's what I'm getting at, folks, is the first thing before I look at anything is don't do anything. If you don't know weekly options, you don't know what's going to happen, it's just sit on your hands time. Okay. Now, okay. I sent out the Apple trade, but it's over. I managed 2 portfolios. I swapped portfolios before we hopped on. So I will recreate the Apple trade in this account. No, Steve, I have an order in to close this one out. And here's kind of my morning so far. But this is for my investment clubs. This isn't for weekly options, so I don't want to confuse anybody. I bought a ton of Microsoft, 1,000 shares of Microsoft. I sold an upside call. Look at this, in and out. Look at this. I sold a bear call spread on SPX at 160, made 50 cents on it. 50 times 30 contracts is $1,500. So I'm taking some shots of opportunity here. All right, let's go with Apple. I like Apple for the week. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at a 3-month trade. So there's your kind of there's your peak tech. Here was profit taking. Right? Let me move this up real quick. And you know what's funny is I can't stand Apple. I can't stand the company. I couldn't stand Steve Jobs, narcissist, sociopath. Tim Cook, awful. They're a disgraceful company. We will not open the phone of the San Bernardino radical Islamic killer that's mowing down people with a machine gun because of privacy. iPhones in China, we bow to our dear leader and we'll put anything on your phone you want us to. It's a disgrace. The day that Tim Cook what's his name? Tim Cook wouldn't open the phone for the FBI to try and prevent other Americans from getting slaughtered, done. But anyway, that's me wearing my flight suit. Me being Gordon Gekko, I trade the shit out of Apple, and we do very well with it. I'm an Android guy. Can't stand it. They're all limousine liberals. I posted this last night in our group here. It was this great article about the narcissist, sociopath, limousine. I call them limousine liberals. Here it is. There's Ponch. I forgot about this. Just look at the headline. The U.S. election could be look at this, an opportunity for China. I'm not going to repeat all this stuff, but I told you, man, if I were Xi Jinping or China, I would absolutely attack Taiwan now or before the election. And if that happens, folks, you haven't seen market volatility. Oh, look at this. Here it is. Read this, not right now. Read this when you get a chance. I'll put it in the chat box. Why Silicon Valley CEOs are such raging sociopaths. Theranos. How about that lady? She's classic. There you go. That's in the chat box. Read this stuff afterwards. I got to get going on our weekly options trade. All right, Apple. Nice little trading range here. Okay, it's given, good bounce. Here's a double bottom, 1, 2, good bounce, a little bit of a run. I might actually leg into what we call an iron condor for the week because one of the biggest things happening this week, in addition to the debate tomorrow night, is what? What happens the first Friday of every month? Unemployment numbers, baby. Non-farm payroll. Look at this. Wow. We're looking for a big increase in job. Look at the jobs. I mean, this is like the Atlantic Ocean to scale. There's where the Titanic's buried. But look at this. Let me close this down. So awful, less awful, and then we're kind of, it's looking good. This is going, the market, I should be out of my weekly options trades, trades, whatever you call, by Friday. I do not want to have anything that's weekly-ish on Friday. Why? It's a coin flip. To me, the jobless numbers on Friday is like an earnings trade. I don't trade earnings. How many of you have been like, they're going to have a blowout earnings report, and I'm getting bullish. Blowout earnings report. It goes down, and you're like, what? Don't ever trade earnings. It is gambling. Don't ever trade a jobs report. It's gambling, right? I use the term bizarro market. There was a time when the Fed, remember, with all this quantitative easing and Ben Bernanke pumping money into the market, a good jobs number was bad news. What? It was. Why? Oh my God, the economy and jobs are getting better, which means the Fed's going to take our crack pipe away. Boom. Retail people will be like, oh my God, Wiz, what am I doing? What are you doing is you're not flying inverted. I call it bizarro market, right? a good jobs number was bad for the market because the Fed might leave and take their punch bowl. So always got to look at what's going, this is forexfactory.com, and you click on calendar, and it shows you all the events for the week all around the world. Great Britain, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, blah, blah, China. So we got jobs numbers on Friday, folks. I plan on being out of that stuff. Yeah, we might see an airline bill by Friday or something like that, or another airline bailout. Don't get me started. I think that's a disgrace. I got buddies whose restaurant, one guy declared bankruptcy last month. Now Governor DeSantis opens the state of Florida. It's a disgrace. Where was his bailout? Airlines are needed for what? Zero. Ain't nobody flying to go to destinations. It ain't part of national defense. If we have to airlift 500,000 troops to the Fulda Gap in Germany, we're all dead. Don't give me any of that stuff. And there ain't no business travel. Zoom. If I can close a $15 million deal on Zoom, why would I go and get drunk and go out and have to impress a client? All right, Apple. Enough wanking here. I might actually start. I put on a bull put spread already that I got filled on. I might do the bear call spread first. What I did? What did I do on this one? It's the 110, 111, 25 bull put spread, 125 contracts. I'm going to do, so strategic mindset. You ready for this, folks? Let's go through our trading checklist. Strategic mindset, bearish. What? Look at this pop. Folks, if we haven't hit today, if we blow through this 50-day moving average up with some airspeed, it's bullish. Right now, we're failing at it. Now, the day ain't over yet, man. We could have the algo step in at the close and push this thing above this moving average, which would be a little bit of a bullish. But this, you see this chop? I nailed this, man. When we imploded here, I said we will not bounce back up. That will not happen. And absolutely 1,000% right. I said we're going to implode and we're going to caterpillar. We're going to implode, dead cat bounce, tested, dead cat bounce, and ripped through it. We're back up to where we chopped. With everything going on in the world, that is not bullish, okay? The bias is this way, especially with all the potential. Now, let me say this. The potential threat to any bearish trade for the week is what? The stimulus bill. I already said it. Do Nancy and Chuck, want to give the president a little bit of a, well, not that it would be the president's victory, but do we want to help people? I'm shocked. So any bearish trade, we could have Nancy out of the blue say, you know what? But I got to be honest with you, that math is disgusting. As a resident of Florida, I want to say F you to Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, and the New York City, the other Democratic S-holes that allowed anarchy and destroyed the cities. How dare you ask for a federal or demand a federal bailout? If I was in those cities, I wouldn't pay my taxes. Cops, they retreated from their precincts and they've been ordered not to counter the protesters. We need $500 million in damage to Minneapolis to repair stuff. Raise the taxes on the people that elected you, morons. So I don't think Trump goes along with this, to be honest with you. But anyway, so let's take a look. That's my strategic mindset. Step 2, target, Apple. Step 3, commit criteria. Kind of gave it to you with the debates, the jobless claims, all sorts of stuff. I will be out of any trade on Apple by Friday. Expiration, let's do the tactic. It's a bear call spread. October 2nd is Friday. That's the expiration. I'll teach you in Full Throttle that these are weekly options. They have a month, a day, and a year. These are monthly options. They expire on the third Friday of that month. Okay, so purple, weekly options. The white, You see, it just has a month and a year. That means the monthly expiration. Again, I'll teach you all this stuff in our full throttle training. He did, Rick. The president said, I ain't bailing out all those cities. And if he goes back on that, I'll be furious with the president. How dare these cities and states demand their politicians got him into this? Leave me alone. I live in Boca Raton right now. It's awful. Usually season is from November to Easter. We get all the New York and New Jersey license plates. It's a zoo right now. Why? They're all leaving. I don't want you here. I'm from Jersey. Go back to Jersey. I think you shouldn't be allowed to vote in the new place you live in for 10 years. I don't want you voting in the crap that you just left. Can't stand it. All right. Let's take a look at this. Tactic is going to be a bear call spread. I put on a bull put spread already that I'm filled on. Let's take a look at a bear call spread. What did I do? 125 in the other one. All right, I need to go to my portfolio margining account. Hang on. Yeah, this, technically in training, I need to be using my paper trading account, but I got to be watching my live trades right now, so I'm going to do this one. All right, here's, maybe I'll do the one a little bit more conservative. Let me do this one. All right, here we go. Tactical employment. We are looking at step 5 of our trade plan. Ready? John, what you are doing is like criticizing all of Broward County for the school shooting there. John, I am on the Broward Sheriff's Advisory Council. The only person really at fault for the Broward school shooting was the Sheriff Israel. He was the commanding officer of that squadron, and he's a disgrace. So he lost too. Guy's awful. I'm not blaming Broward County. Oh yeah, Portland. Okay. Let me do this trade, guys. I'm running way late, and I got another brief at 2:00. I'm looking to sell 125 of Friday's 116.25 calls. That's me saying, hey, Apple, I don't think you're going to be above 116.25 by Friday. That looks pretty good. Top of this range right there. See that chop? That's right in the middle of that chop, right there. I think we're going to fail up here. What if you're wrong, Wiz? Well, I can be wrong. If Apple races higher for some reason, I'm going to buy some upside calls. So we are technically long Apple anything above 117.5. So I'm neutral to bearish on Apple. I'm using calls, and this is also called a spread. This tactic is called a bear call spread. It's also called a credit spread. If you look down here, I'm taking in a credit of about $4,800 to do this trade. I'm the house, right? I'm selling something. I'm the Ferrari dealership in Fort Lauderdale. I love selling something. Why? Because when you sell something, there's a Greek that I'll teach you about called Theta, time decay. If you buy a $250,000 Ferrari from the Fort Lauderdale dealer, as soon as you pull out in your midlife crisis, it ain't a $250,000 Ferrari. I don't care if you do a U-turn and come back in and go, you know what, I don't want the car anymore. They'll be like, okay, great, we'll buy it back for 200 grand. It's called Theta. It's called time decay. You'd rather be the dealership. Now, while we're on this order ticket right here, first thing I'm going to do is grab a screenshot. Why? Because I'm going to put this in an email and a text alert. File, save as, Apple, date 9/28, bear call spread. Now we're going to stay on the screen for a second, this order ticket, because I'm going to tell you there's the bid, how much I want to pay for this or sell the spread. This is what they're trying to sell it for. Right in the middle is what we call mid-market. That's where I'd like to get filled. I give my members a range. I'd probably be about 2 cents wide on this. The lowest I'd go is about 36, and the highest I'd go is about 40 for the day. Also on this screen, folks, we're going to stop and we're going to talk about bad. We want, if we bring in 37 cents right now, how much do you want to keep of that? I want all 37 cents. So technically you want this trade to go, this this credit to go to zero. I want to keep the 37 cents, Wiz. That means Apple either stays where it is or went down this week. Great. Let's talk about the bad. This is managing risk. When would I maybe eject from this trade? When would I get out of it? I'm a pilot and an options trader. I use easy math. If I bring in a credit of 38 cents, I simply double it. If this trade, the spreads increases in value up to, what's that, 76 cents? That means Apple is going up. That means this trade's going against us. So maybe at 76 cents, I would eject from the trade, right? So write that down. That's step 7, man. I already told you. I haven't even placed the trade yet, and I know when I might eject to get out of it because I don't want to take the maximum loss. All right, now I'm also going to teach you guys. I'll answer questions at the end. I gotta cruise here. This is why we only take 50 people, man. I can't answer 500 people's questions. Okay, because we have a fraction of what's in here in our regular trade briefs. I'm going to teach you that when I click on this analysis tab right here, you see it? I'm going to teach you to have your eyes go to one place and one place only, and that is max potential loss. You ready? I'm going to click this. 3, 2, 1, max potential loss. Don't ever look at max profit first. Shitty retail traders do that. Holy crap, Wiz, I can make 4,800 bucks this week? Yep. You ready to lose 11? No. Then don't do it. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is my personal account. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm doing 125 contracts because my SOP says I don't want to risk more than 10 grand in my personal account on any one trade. If you wanted to do one, let's see what one contract is. One contract, max potential loss for the week is $87 to potentially make 38. Want to do 50? Max potential loss is 4,300 bucks. Max potential, folks, you're getting the eavesdrop on what a professional trader is doing. You have to make your own risk reward decisions. I'm doing $1.25. But did you notice what I did? I said, look here first. You are the pilot and commander of your portfolio. You decide. I put a check mark next to that and go, I own this portfolio. I'm the pilot in command. I signed for my jet. I acknowledge that risk. I ain't going to be happy if that happens, but I acknowledged it. If that's too much risk, you do less contracts. Now that I acknowledge, as Edward Matthew Buckley, the risk in that trade, now I can bring my eyes up to here and go, okay, max potential profit, $4,800. Okay. Underneath those are what? Probabilities. Using at the money volatility in Apple options as I'm talking to you, there's a 68% probability of making 4,800 bucks this week. That's pretty high. The options trader in me says there's a 25% probability of getting your ass handed to you. Okay. Let me grab a screenshot of this because I put this in an email and I also put it on a member page along with the replay from today's brief. Apple 928 bear call spread. Okay. All right. So I talked about the bad. Where would I maybe eject? Double the credit that you take in. When would I take profits? If I am looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the credit that I take in, close it. Ladies and gentlemen, pigs get slaughtered. If you're looking at an 80% profit Wednesday afternoon, you're like, man, I made 3,800 bucks on this trade, but there's $1,000 left to go by Friday. I want that $1,000. Do not turn an 80% winning trade into a 100% losing trade. Who's done that before? Me. Who tries to never let that happen again? Me. Most retail traders do that. Look at me. I was up 50% on an SPX trade for today, and I'm like, done. No one in the history of my 29 years of doing this has gone broke taking a profit. If you're the type of trader that's going to look at this trade and go, hey, it's up $4,000, but I have a day to go, I want that $750, more of it. You will wake up and the breaking news will be that Jesus Christ returned to earth and he's Apple CEO. And it goes through the roof and you lose 10 grand. In that case, you deserve it. And then you're going to write in your trade journal, I turned a 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. So ladies and gentlemen, in this brief, before I even pressed submit on this trade, I told you when I'd be getting out of it, and I told you when I'd maybe eject. Some people are like, do you send out closing text alerts? No. Well, why? I just told you. If you didn't pay attention in the brief, that's your fault. People are like, oh, there's other services send out closing trade alerts because they don't use a trade plan. Why would you get into a trade and not know when you're getting out of it? How stupid can you be? This is why very successful. I took what I learned as a fighter pilot and put it into this, and I print money. It makes my life a hell of a lot easier instead of sitting here nibbling my fingernails. I haven't even fired this trade, and I know when I'm getting out of it. Okay. I got to do that. Let me preview everything. That's looking pretty damn good. Preview. And I'm going to fire that one. And I'm going to take it. And since we're almost done, I need to send out a text and email alert to my regular members too. But all trades immediately go to my 2 self-directed investment squadrons. Boom. And then we will, I need to send it out as well. You guys can, let me start wrapping up and then we'll talk. You got it, Gary. Own your own trade. Real quick, let me, well, it's going down range right now. We'll talk more about this tomorrow in the primary live trade brief when we have a little bit more time. Again, this was supposed to be 30 minutes every Monday, noon, 30 minutes, because I have another brief in an hour here I need to go get ready for. But when you sell something, every second, when I get filled on this trade, every second that goes by, I get what's called time decay, right? Every second, let me look at a current one. This bear call spread I have on right now. Let me click analyze. Let me analyze this in the trade lab. Okay. So down here, ladies and gentlemen, this is called Theta. This is Theta for today. Keep your eyes down here in this SPX bear call spread that I'm in. There's Theta. Every second that goes by, stop. No, horizontal. Okay, what the hell's, that's not updating. I've about had it with E-Trade, but that's a separate subject. With a bear call spread, ladies and gentlemen, you see that dotted line? We make money. I love credit spreads. We make money 3 out of 4 ways. Trade goes down, or I'm sorry, SPX in this case goes down, I make money. SPX stays where it is, I make money. It can go up a little bit as long as it stays below my break even of 33.61. The only way I lose in this case on a bear call spread is if it rips through my break even, right? That's why I love credit spreads. I like being the house. Okay. All right, real quick, I will take some questions and then we need to wrap up because I have to go get ready for solo Amazon. And then I need to send this out via text and email. Paul, my top 5 news sources. I'll brief you in full throttle training on where I get all that stuff. Derek, how do you sell the option? I don't know what that means. I sell the spread. Let me do this though, because I need to. So here's my SMS weekly options. I'm going to send out a text alert right now. You can watch if you want. Otherwise, I'm about done. Weekly options, new Apple. I just paste the trade right in here. Paste. 38-cent credit. What did I say? Plus or minus about 2 cents wide. Maybe eject. What was that? 76. So this is the text alert I'm going to send out to my members. No, if I don't send out text alerts to if you're not a member. Sorry, it ain't cheap. Buy, sell. I'm going to buy these upside calls. Sell. But I'm showing you the how the technology works. Sell 1.5, 2 calls. You're welcome. That's good to know. Not too many people kind of trade the way I trade or do my methodology. Expiry. That's for Friday. I'm doing 125 contracts. It's Apple. New Apple bear call spread. I don't need to sell there. All right, so I'm going to grab this. Actually, sometimes the email arrives quicker than they fire at the same time, folks. An email and a text. I'm going to show you. How much is my service SMS weekly? Hugh, I don't know, man. Weekly options to Apple bear call spread. All right. This is actually the bull put spread that I sent out earlier. Let me put in the screenshot. So this is a copy of the email. So you get both. You get a text, you get an email, Apple bear call spread. So I'm putting the image in there. Yeah, it's awesome. Text and an email, and you get the recording if you can't attend. But you guys are all sitting here live. So this is like quadruple redundancy. Bear call spread metrics. And then I'm going to send this out. I got to publish it. Yeah, these are the different services that I send text alerts out to. Charles, you have more fun at your job than I do at mine. Is that awesome? Exactly, Jeff. If you're a lifetime member or you're in the Max Self-Directed Investment Squadron, you get them instantaneously. All right, let me go to contacts, and I'll blast this out. Yeah, it looks like 3350 might be is kind of the Mason-Dixon line for the day. We'll see. Usually we get on these Monday rip your face off rallies, the tendency is to fade into the close. Weekly options. Let me select all the members who are in this service. My computer's running slow. Oh, the weekly options group. You can. There's 665 members in weekly options. You can, it's probably a better deal to get into full throttle and have weekly options along with my other services. Or if you just want access to weekly options, you got to email support. I don't have like how much it is just for weekly options. That's just not. I mean, there's some people that just subscribe to weekly options. So Hugh, just shoot an email to support at Top Gun Options if you just want access to this. But tomorrow I'm going to show you how you get access to a lot of things, and it's usually a better service or better deal. Okay, sorry I went late, but again, this is full throttle. Usually this is 30 minutes and I'm gone. Trades out, text and email alerts out, and then it's a done deal. Let me read. I always go and check my phone here because my mastermind group, we text throughout the day if anybody's seeing stuff, unusual activity, news. Let me see. I think we're good. All right, let me take a look over here. Any other questions? Are we getting your alerts this week for a trial experience? No, Christopher, I used to, but it turned out to be a hell of a lot of extra work for me to also put all you guys into my member stuff, and it turned into a shit show. So, no. Opening these all up to the public is kind of the good deal, but sending text alerts out to another 1,500 people kind of isn't. We used to, but I don't. So, exactly. No need for a shit show. The we have 2 self-directed investment clubs. Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the week, folks. I don't want to confuse you with Full Throttle, but I do my day. All of my trading, personal trading, is sent to my lifetime members and the self-directed investment club. Full Throttle is what we're talking about this week, guys. I don't want to confuse people, so let's talk about that. I have a brief with Tradier at 4:00 today, and I'll know more about Tradier. Okay. All right, folks. Good. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we're going to do the. I'm going to do the members. Both these trades, the bull put spread and the bear call spread, will be on the weekly options page as soon as I get done. But I got to get ready. Here's the bull put spread, folks, in case you didn't get it. Now, this is for my regular members here. This was the bull put spread. The 110, 187, 75. Please take a screenshot of this. Eli, I'll look into it. Yes, solo Amazon is at 2. There's the bull put spread for Apple. If you didn't get it, I'll look into that. I don't want that. Here's the metrics of the bull put spread. I'll get it up on the member page right away. Same thing. I did 125 contracts, so I'm looking to get into an iron condor here on Apple for the week. There it is. All right, guys, this will be up on the member page shortly. Again, for all the non-members, you're kind of. I half conducted normal flight operations and half talked to you to give you an idea of what we do. Okay, so sweet. See, there you go, David. It's somebody said they just got the text. It's pretty damn. It's got to go through like 700 weekly options members. It takes like maybe 30 seconds to a minute to go. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to get ready for solo Amazon at 2:00. All the free people, you're invited to tomorrow's brief at 10 a.m. At 2 p.m. today, I have solo Amazon. That's not included in Full Throttle. It's a service where we just trade Amazon. Maybe we'll talk about that next week or a couple weeks from now. I want to focus on Full Throttle. So, okay, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll get the replay up here. I don't know, in an hour or so after I get done with solo Amazon. So this is where all the replays are posted for the week. I'll put this link one more time in the chat box. This replay from right now for all the free people will be up here eventually. Okay, I gotta focus on my paying members here. All right, guys, good, great day, good stuff. Already up about $5,500 on my SPX trades, and I like that. Should be done for the day, but I'll head over and I'll see many of you, all the members in solo Amazon. I'll see you over there at 2:00. Otherwise, I'll see the free people tomorrow morning at 10. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged, and God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.